Elaborate trips, car payments, fancy restaurant meals, all of it paid with your tax dollars.
WAND Investigates reporter Doug Wolfe tells us how state employees ripped off a government loan program for millions of dollars.
It's a ripoff costing taxpayers more than $2.8 million, a fraud committed by government employees working for the state of Illinois.
The reality is our taxpayers are getting crushed here in Illinois, and there's absolutely no excuse for state employees to be ripping us off as well.
The fraud dates back to 2020 and 2021 at the height of the COVID pandemic. Small Business Administration loans under the Paycheck Protection Program, better known as PPP. Loans which were fully or partially forgivable, a feature which was attractive to legitimate borrowers and fraudsters looking to rob the system.
Over 500 cases of state employees abusing the PPP loan program.
Republican State Representative Regan Deering points to the abuse being paid for by taxpayers. The Office of the Executive Inspector General in her annual 2025 report, citing specific cases of fraud by state employees, creating fake companies to obtain those government loans and then never paying back a dime.
Or anyone who is in fact responsible for paying their own taxes and being held to very high standards would demand that the same is happening at our state of Illinois.
State employees cited by the Inspector General either resigned, were fired, and in some cases were prosecuted. Some examples: 2 loans to an employee of the Illinois Department of Human Services, DHS, totaling a combined $41,000, which were forgiven and not paid back. Our WAND Investigates review of her case shows she claimed to be the operator of beauty salons to obtain the loans. The Department of Professional Regulation shows no evidence of the woman having a cosmetology license and had no business records. The Executive Inspector General found she used the money to pay herself, to pay bills, gave some money to relatives. She was fired by DHS. The second example was for a $20,832 forgivable loan to an employee of the Illinois Department of Military Affairs, which used false income and payroll information. He spent a big chunk of the money on a trip to Las Vegas, $2,200 in airline purchases, with $158 in travel insurance, more than $1,000 at a Las Vegas hotel, $260 at a sunglass store in Las Vegas, $130 at a Las Vegas shoe store, and $142 at a restaurant. Outside of the Las Vegas trip, his checking account, according to the Executive Inspector General, shows ATM withdrawals and associated fees, totaling $2,000, nearly $1,000 in car payments, $309 to a restaurant, $239 to a luxury goods store, and $182 to a clothing store. Over a 2-month period, there were also $3,000 in purchases at various restaurants, gas stations, pet stores, and bowling alleys. He was given an opportunity to resign from his state job, and when he did not, he was fired. From time to time, the Illinois Attorney General steps in to take state employees to court, as was the case in February.
She pled to a Class 2 felony and is paying restitution. I think her loan was over $20,000, and now she's on probation for 24 months.
In another case conducted by the Attorney General, an employee of the Illinois Department of Health Care and Family Services was sentenced to pay full restitution for the $41,600 she obtained through the PPP loan program. The 56-year-old woman was also sentenced to 24 months probation and 30 hours of community service after pleading guilty to Class 4 felony income tax fraud. Those are just a couple of cases where there has been a prosecution. Most get away simply losing their jobs.
And of those that have been held accountable, they've been allowed to retire or resign. Some of them have gotten admonished, maybe a letter in their file.
The one department with the most employees caught in the last year was the Illinois Department of Human Services, DHS.
When we have a department that's got a critical mission for taking care of the least of ours in the state, and then we find that they're turning around and ripping people off on their own time.
Office of the Executive Inspector General findings often end with this sentence: regardless of the ease of procuring these PPP funds, this was not free money for the taking. For WAND Investigates, Doug Wolfe. WAND News.